Hey, what's up guys? Sloth King here. I'm going to show you how to jack up your vehicle safely. So I made a short about this, so I figured I'd go a little more in depth and make a full-length video on it. I'm going to be showing you how to jack up an SUV that's a body on frame that doesn't have pinch welds, and then I'll show you on a vehicle that does have some pinch welds and where you can jack it up at. So let's get into this. All right, so I have a 3-ton jack, and then I have 6-ton jack stands. So the main thing that I like to make sure that you want to make sure that your jack stands are heavy duty and they're locking. The locking feature will make sure that you have an added protection just in case if the top part of the jack falls down. This will prevent it from like falling down completely. It's just an added safety feature. So there's a bunch of different jack stands out there. I actually got these from Harbor Freight. Now there are some that have some pretty bad recalls on it, but this one, or this set I should say, is one of the ones that they revised and they're actually good now. So make sure you do some research on the ones that you buy beforehand. Don't cheap out on jack stands, all right? Same thing with a jack. You wanna get a good jack. You wanna make sure that it has the capacity or the ability to lift up the weight of your vehicle. I got a 3-ton. My 4Runner here weighs 5,000 pounds, so it'll be fine. Now, if you're trying to jack up a heavy-duty truck, you're gonna want something a little bit bigger. I'll have a link to these in the description below to the recommended jacks and jack stands that I use. All right, so let's get to it. On the 4Runner, this is a body on frame. If we get underneath the 4Runner, we're going to see my skid plate right here, and then there's a point cut out right here that you can actually place your jack and then jack up the vehicle, because we have our subframe right above it that's supporting it. Now, if we didn't have this on here, we would have to look at our subframe to put our jack to jack it up, or we put it on the front differential. But if you look in here, part of a frame goes down, and then there's a crossbar that goes all the way under here that meets right here in the middle, and it's super reinforced. So that's one jack point that you can place your jack to jack up your vehicle. Let me show you the back. And so if you're trying to jack up the rear of an SUV, you will see your differential. Now you can place your jack under here and jack up the rear of your vehicle. And then you can place your jack stands on either side of your axle, and that is totally fine. A lot of manufacturers recommend that. That is one of the jacking points. A lot of people will say, do not jack it up by your differential. That just depends on each and every manufacturer. So double check and make sure that you can jack it up right here. When you're jacking up the front of your vehicle, you don't have the side axle to put your jack stands on, so we're going to put it on the frame. The great thing about a vehicle that's a body on frame is that this whole part of the frame you can place your jack on. You can, if you're only jacking up one side, you can actually place your jack here, jack it up, and then put your jack stand. So whenever I jack up the front of my 4Runner, I will usually place my jack stands like in this area, and this is totally fine. You can place it here, you can place it a little bit further up here, you can place your jack stand here. So most of the vehicles that have a body on frame, pretty much any modern pickup truck, most, or some SUVs I should say, there are SUVs that actually have pinch welds. So you can't just place your jack and or jack stands anywhere on it. So let me show you a vehicle that has pinch welds. So over here on this RAV4, this is not a body on frame. This will actually have pinch welds. So if you look on your rocker panel here, you're going to see these little divots cut out. You're going to place your jack stand right in between here. And this is where you rest your jack stands so that your vehicle can be up in the air. You're gonna see them on each corner of the vehicle. So this is the rear driver. You're gonna have it back here. If we come up to the driver's side on the front, you're also going to see it. Place your jack stand right there, and that's where you can support your vehicle. It's going to be the same thing on the passenger side as well. Now the jacking points is a little bit different on this vehicle. So we're going to find the subframe. So if we look underneath, this whole thing right here, this is your subframe. You can place your jack right in the center of that and then jack up your vehicle. That is a reinforced area. You can also check your owner's manual to see where else you can jack up your vehicle from. Most of the time, they're going to have it here. Some manufacturers as well will have like these indicator points that pretty much come out on your subframe where you can place your jack, and then that's where you can jack it up at. It's a reinforced supported area. I think the rear of this RAV4 actually has that. All right, it does not, but it does have the rear subframe and differential. So you could place your jack right in the middle, right where that little X is, and then you can jack up the rear of this RAV4. Now, if you don't have an SUV, a compact SUV that's rear-wheel drive, there will be a reinforced area right around here that will stick out of this rear subframe that you can place your jack on. Like I said, each manufacturer is completely different of where they have those indicators at. So most of the time in your owner's manual, you will actually see where you can jack up your vehicle. If not, you can just do a quick Google search, put in the year, the make, the model, and then say, hey, where can I jack up my vehicle at? And then they'll actually have points, and it'll have a diagram. Anyway, so I'm gonna show you how to jack up the 4Runner. All right, so now that you know where all your jack points are, before we jack it up, you're going to want to do a couple things. First, you're gonna put your e-brake on. Activate your e-brake if you're jacking up the front of the vehicle, so that way your rear tires don't roll back. Second thing, you're gonna invest in some wheel chocks. We're just gonna place our wheel chock underneath here so our vehicle does not roll back. And you're gonna do the same thing if you're jacking up the rear of the vehicle. Since your e-brake does not work for your front wheels most of the time, you would put your wheel chocks right up here, so that way your vehicle does not roll forward. Do not use blocks of wood. The wood can slip. So now that we have that in place, let's jack up the 4Runner. All right, so we're gonna find that spot that I told you where we can jack it up at this front subframe. It's lined up there. So now we just jack it up. All right, now that we have it up in the air, let me show you where I place my jack stands. So I like to make sure the handle's facing out. And we're gonna find a point on our frame, and right about here is perfect. And make sure that whenever you're placing your jack stands under here, you count how many clicks comes out, so that way you can make sure both sides are even. That'll be 3. The first little one doesn't count. And then we're gonna do the same thing on this side. Remember, like I told you, that first one was just like the one like safety notch. And if it doesn't line up exactly like the other side, you can just jack it up a little bit more. And then now, that is 3 and 3 on each side. Next, we're going to insert our lock pins on both jack stands. I know I didn't do it on that side because I was making sure that it would line up 3 over here. So put both pins in, and then now we can lower the vehicle. And I'm showing you this one because a lot of you guys would probably complain anyway. There, it's in. So now we're going to slowly turn this handle counterclockwise and slowly drop the vehicle. It's hard to do it with one hand. It's easier if you like grab both hands and then turn it. All right, Don't fully lower your jack yet. Last thing we're going to do a little shake test to make sure that if we move the vehicle, it's stabilized. So just grab your bumper. Yep, that's good. Now you can lower the rest of the way and then twist it clockwise to lock the handle, and you successfully just jacked up your vehicle. All right, and then when we want to remove our jacks and lower the vehicle, we're going to jack up the vehicle again. We want to go a little bit past the point so that way we can slide our jack stands out. All right, you see how we have a gap there now? Remove your lock pin, lower the jack itself, and remove the jack stand. And then now we can slowly lower our vehicle. Nice and slow. And that's it. All right, guys, and that's it. That's how you jack up your vehicle. Now, just make sure you're safe doing this the whole entire time. Just follow the safety procedures. Put your wheel chocks in the back, activate your e-brake, make sure you know your jack points on your vehicle. Every vehicle is going to be a little bit different, so just make sure you look up the jack points on your said vehicle. And make sure you have the proper equipment. Do not skimp on your safety equipment, i.e. the jack stands and your jack, because saving 50 bucks is not worth your life. Anyways, hopefully you guys found this pretty helpful. Very straightforward and easy. If you did, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe to see more videos like these. I'll catch you on the next ride. So I'm gonna show you. Really? This crow. These birds and this dog over here is really interrupting my video.